wallet.
We'll take care of each other. I done told my wife I'll give my life before anything happens to him. So he'll get me tear-eyed there.
USA! USA!
Today, as home front rallies continue to support their sons and daughters and husbands and wives at war, not to be forgotten are 7 families who will soon be making twice the sacrifice. Bob McNamara, CBS News, Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
And this is CBS News Up to the Minute.
CBS News.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, April 2nd. From CBS News in New York City, this is up-to-the-minute coverage of America at war. I'm Melissa McDermott. Here's what's happening. 19-year-old Army Private Jessica Lynch, missing in Iraq since March 23rd, is safe this morning after being rescued from an Iraqi hospital. Lynch, from Palestine, West Virginia, is a member of the 507th Maintenance Company out of Fort Bliss, Texas, whose unit took a wrong turn and ran into an Iraqi ambush. There are reports she's been shot. CBS News correspondent Bob Orr reports.
Private Jessica Lynch, the 19-year-old from a small West Virginia coal town, had been missing for 9 days since her Army supply convoy was ambushed near the southern Iraqi town of Nasiriyah. It was clear from Iraqi television that some in her unit had been killed and others captured, but there was no information about Lynch. Last Friday, her father Gregory spoke with CBS News correspondent Jane Clayson.
What's the worst part of it?
Not knowing where she's at, that she's missing, it's kind of crushes you.
Throughout her hometown of Palestine, West Virginia, yellow ribbons have been displayed on mailboxes and doors, and the town has held a candlelight vigil and prayer meeting for the young woman who joined the Army for the promise of travel, education, and a better future.
We're just going to keep a strong faith up that she's missing. She's out there laying low somewhere, waiting till our troops can catch up.
And when she walks down that driveway?
Yeah, she is going to get one big hug.
Now, Jessica Lynch has begun her journey home. Bob Orr, CBS News, Washington.
The Pentagon puts the number of U.S. troops held prisoner in Iraq at 7. 15 others are formally listed as missing. The number of coalition forces killed is 75, 46 of them American. There are no reliable estimates of Iraqi casualties, military or civilian. The sound of war again in Baghdad. This morning's attacks included more hits on a presidential compound that serves as Iraq's ceremonial seat of government. Just 50 miles away, U.S. troops appear to have begun a major offensive against the Iraqi capital, starting with an assault to the south in Karbala. It's the first major offensive against the elite Iraqi force. To the east, U.S. Marines bombarded Kut and bridged the Tigris River. Meanwhile, CBS News correspondent Mark Strassman is with lead elements of the 101st Airborne Division fighting their way into Najaf in south-central Iraq.
American forces now move deep into Najaf, one of the Muslim world's holiest cities. Inside neighborhoods here, troops keep hunting for several hundred of Saddam's violent holdouts, while at the same time trying to win over everyday Iraqis. Coalition forces will face the same challenge in other cities on the march to Baghdad. In Basra, British forces have circled the city, but the fighting goes on and has since the war began 2 weeks ago. U.S. troops in Nasiriyah and the Shiite holy city of Karbala also have faced stubborn resistance, more than expected. That has forced a change in the battle plan. sending coalition troops into Iraqi cities rather than around them. In Najaf, many Iraqis welcome the invading troops, but are still nervous and suspicious. So soldiers are told to smile at the locals, but watch their hands.
Every alleyway, you can make your own targets. There's too many about me to say target 1, 2, 3, 4. Assalamu alaikum.
That approach contrasts with this one. At times, the U.S. is brutally direct. Kill the enemy, destroy his assets. But often, commanders like Colonel Chris Hughes face a clear constraint.
Main effort is to isolate the mosque.
Its gold dome, Najaf's holy shrine tomb of Ali, is sacred to Shia Muslims, Iraq's majority. But inside it, members of the Fedayeen, pro-Saddam paramilitaries, are hiding and launching attacks. Hughes must be methodical and precise.
I don't want us to give any perception that we are, tearing up the holiest city in the Middle East.
Ali, the founder of the Shia branch of Islam, is buried in a cemetery next to the city's central mosque. That cemetery is also a holy site, and the Fedayeen have also been using it as a base and a shield. Gambling U.S. troops won't dare to attack it. In Arabic and in action, the message to Najaf is U.S. forces mean harm only to the Fedayeen. They want to win the military fight and not lose the political war. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Najaf, Iraq.
The nation's top military officer is defending the U.S. battle plan in Iraq and his boss. Joint Chiefs Chairman General Richard Myers says the commander of coalition forces has gotten everything he needs and everything he wants. Myers also attacked reports that Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld had pushed U.S. generals to go into battle with a smaller force than they wanted.
My view of those reports, and since I don't know who you're quoting, who the individuals are, is that they're bogus. I don't know how they get started, and I don't know how they've been perpetuated, but it's not been by responsible members of the team that put this all together. They either weren't there, or they don't know, or they're working another agenda, and I don't know what that agenda might be. I will stick by my statement that this is a great plan, and it's one I've signed up to, it's one all the Joint Chiefs signed up to, and it's one we're going to see through to completion.
For his part, Rumsfeld doesn't deny the U.S. battle plans changed after invading coalition forces ran into fierce Iraqi resistance.
First of all, a plan is like a family budget. It's something someone sits down and devises and then never lives with. From the opening day, a war plan is the process of adjusting it begins. As everyone says, a war plan doesn't survive the first day of battle.
There are roughly 100,000 U.S. and British troops now inside Iraq, part of the coalition force that numbers about 300,000 in the region. By contrast, the first President Bush sent 540,000 U.S. troops to reverse Saddam Hussein's occupation of Kuwait, a less ambitious mission than ending the regime. In other developments, General Myers expressed regret for the killing of at least 7 Iraqi women and children at a checkpoint near the southern city of Najaf on Monday. Red Cross workers visiting towns south of Baghdad for the first time describe overwhelmed hospitals as being scenes of, quote, horror. And U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell is in Turkey to ask for more help with American military operations in northern Iraq. Meanwhile, one other item, a climber who calls himself Spider-Man scaled a 47-story building in Paris to protest the U.S.-led war in Iraq. Elaine Robert wore a shirt with the message, "No war." He reached the top of the building in less than an hour.
Against the war because I found the war completely illegal. U.S.
And we're back in 2 minutes. This is CBS News Up to the Minute.
I want to shout it from the rooftops.